Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 14 Reunion Part 3. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, y'all, let's get into it if we're going to get into it, honey, because it ain't much to get into, but y'all know we're going to get into it nonetheless. When the episode first opens up, Andrew hangs the phone up in Anthony's face, honey, as he should, okay? So Andy tells Drew, listen, Drew, the dude admitted that he said that Ralph was gay. He admitted it. Baby, Drew skipped right on over it. Baby, this is the most ignorant. This is the most ignorant reunion I've ever seen, child. Everybody was skipping and just, everybody tired. Let me tell y'all let's just talk for a second. As I watched this reunion, I realized that everybody's tired. Now, I know my true Real Housewives of Atlanta fans know reunions are when you bring it. You fight to the death and stand 10 toes down in every and anything that you said. Baby, this reunion, Kenya, did you feel like Ross was being aggressive? Absolutely not. Ross is a stand-up guy. I wish someone would stand up for me like that. Marlo, what about when you said Kandi doesn't care about the community? Kandi cares about the community. I'm crazy. Kandi cares about the community. Marlo, why did you say Todd was cheating? I don't know. Listening to the streets like Mama Joyce. Sheree, why did you say that Todd was in these streets and your ear was to the street and you heard something? I don't know. I was just piggybacking off. I don't know. Like, what is happening? Okay? I could have had a V8. If y'all don't clock in, what is happening? I don't know. Is it just me that realized this? Y'all, they have really just relaxed. I know this was a lighthearted season, but there were certain things that we could have talked about. Like, I feel like everybody was just like, child, I don't feel like fighting. You right. You got it. You got it. It's on you. You right. Yep, you right. That's what this was giving me. But anywho, child, let me get off my soapbox and get back into it. Drew skipped right on over it. The bottom line is Anthony is an issue, point blank, and the period. Then they bring up Drew not paying her chef. You know, and of all the people that had the DM about her not paying the chef, is the one that wanted to be trusted, and that would be Marlo. So Drew is like, well, they don't work for me. Y'all sure have a lot of bills owed to people that don't work for you. You, Sheree, y'all need to stop surrounding yourself with people and having them assume that they work for you when they really don't, honey, because I just don't know what's going on. And Marlo is messy as hell. So then they asked Sheree, did she think that it was hypocritical for her to call Kandi a pro, but she gets upset when people say she don't pay? She's like, no, I don't. I mean, I just think they need new content. You don't think you need new content? Ma'am, at this point, it's looking like the truth, okay? Everybody ain't lying on you, Sheree. And we all know you got a little lying problem. So everybody saying you don't pay, it's giving where there's smoke, there's fire. Moving forward. So Drew was like, well, girl, you said you was going to pay 50%. Sheree was like, no, you went overboard. I got kids. Sheree, stop saying you have kids. Your kids are not on reduced lunch, honey. You do not have to send a sack lunch out to the school. You do not have to prepare 3 square meals a day. Your kids are grown. Every last one of them. And girl, if you don't go, what you need to say is, girl, I'm still paying on this chateau. I ain't got time to give you $30, $3, or 30 cents. I got to pay on the chateau. Okay, it ain't been paid on. Just say that, girl, instead of throwing these kids in there every 5 minutes, because that don't make no sense. Sheree is just, I don't know, child. She was like, you went overboard. I'm not trying to buy friends. You are. Sheree, she's not trying to buy friends. She just wants to be paid like you said you would pay her. Sheree is one of those people that they be talking about when the bill comes at restaurants. I just had a water. Okay, I know we said we was gonna play. I just had a water. Oh, no, that wasn't my Caesar salad I was sharing with her. Matter of fact, I gotta go to the restroom. Baby, Sheree at the restroom, but she ain't never coming back. Oh, child, I'm not about to play. So then they have a tweet from somebody, honey. I'm just gonna say Sarah in Minnesota, honey, because I don't know whose name it was. And the person asked, how come nobody thought that Drew would be upset when Fatum took it upon herself to run a background check on her? They don't care because they don't respect Drew. Simple as that. They do not respect Drew. So they're like, yeah, I mean, I feel like that was too far. That's crazy. See what I'm talking about? Here goes Sheree. I mean, I can't control people. I can't control Fatum. Well, listen here, Sheree. You said you couldn't control Fatum, and Drew was like, well, why didn't you say to her, that's too far? Sheree, you know what? Girl, get real. Okay? You saying that now, but you were okay with it. Because for some reason, you don't like Drew. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, you don't like her. Y'all had that little rift when she said something that was repeated to her. She talked to Kandi about it. Y'all got over it. And here you are back at the reunion with some animosity. And it ain't given like you think it's given. So Drew was like, I mean, I just feel like it's laughable because, you know, Ralph is a junior. And, you know, I saw the paper and it was like different variations of the name. And then his ex-wife's name is Darlene. And so we were thinking Danielle was Darlene. Drew, you should have just took the sympathy and stayed quiet. Okay, at first it was your assistant Danielle. Now it's his daddy ex-wife because both their names start with a D. Drew, shh. Okay, see, Drew, you got to know when to just take it and sit. Okay, now you're saying stuff and it's gonna have to make me say something about you, Drew, and I don't want to do it. So just shh, girl. So Marlo said, well, that's okay. You know, I'm LaToya. Marlo, thank you for trying to save a child because baby, she drowning. So Sonya feels like the anger that Drew had to Fatum, it was warranted, but it was misplaced. She feels like it should have been on Anthony. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. I don't think it was misplaced. She earned some of it because don't speak on my husband and repeat malicious things and you don't know me. Okay, and then you said it out loud at a table full of people because Sheree told you to attack. And y'all not fooling me, okay? So, no. Drew had every right to be upset with her in addition to Anthony. Fatum don't get to skate on by, honey. You running background checks on me? Girl, please. Moving forward. So they read this tweet from Sheree about Drew stealing movie props when she didn't get the role or something, honey. It fell flat. So Andy asked, you know, where her and Drew stand now. And Sheree said, we don't stand anywhere. Drew said, oh, I ain't losing no sleep. Sheree said, I'm well rested. Oh, okay, child, let's move on. So they go to break and Drew tries talking to Sheree about Anthony. She's like, girl, but yeah, when I heard this and that. So they going back and forth, honey. They going back and forth and back. Andy on his phone, honey, he texting, child, probably looking at the Twitter. And he's like, it seems like this guy's bad news. I hate this reunion. When I tell y'all I hate it so that it's comical. You know how something be so terrible, all you can do is laugh? Baby, that's exactly what's happening right here. So Andy was like, yeah, seems like this guy's bad news. Please tell him, Andrew. Honey, he's sick of it. He's sick of hearing about it. I am sick of it too. So the men are arriving. Hey, y'all. So they go into Todd's dressing room. Child Todd trying to catch a nap real quick. And so Todd is trying to rehearse calling Ralph Mr. Gaslighter. So Mr. Gaslighter, why do you like to gaslight? So Ralph gonna say, oh, no. They're going to be getting on you too. They're going to have to smoke for you too. Todd said, yeah, they're going to be asking me why my wife's still taking care of me. Is she the husband? I'm the wife. I'm just broke. Every year I'm just broke. I don't know how long I'm going to be broke. Todd, you are a mess, child. You know what? Todd has really grown on me. I like me some Todd. But baby, Todd laughing all the way to the bank. Do y'all hear me? And he ain't no fool. Y'all sitting up here thinking Todd is broke. Baby, that bank account, racks on racks on racks. Racks on racks on racks. I'm telling y'all. Moving forward. So the men come out and Ross and Ralph dressed like the Temptations. Merry Christmas from the Temptations. Oh, child, I'm not about to play. Oh, honey. They were looking real nice. All the men were looking sharp, honey. They were looking sharp. And Todd talking about his background dancers. So Andy makes a little joke about Todd's beard, asking how long is it going to go, child? And it's going to go till he don't want it to go no more. Andy always asking what's the end game on something. Remember when he asked, I think it was Kim, hey, what's the end game on the boobs? Andy, don't worry about it. He don't like big, honey. So he asked Ross if it's different from him being on the Housewives and the Super Bowl. Of course it is. He was like, because this is considered the Housewives Super Bowl. He was like, yeah, I know. Ross is a man of very few words. So Andy asked if they, all hung out after getting to know each other during the season. And Todd was like, yeah, we was drinking as the ladies arrived this morning. We see it says 6 a.m. Baby, that Todd can party. Do you hear me? That man can party. Kandi was pissed. She was like, I'm not pulling you out of bed. This is the reunion. I need you coherent. I need you alert. I need you on your stuff. Quit playing with me, Todd, and then get yourself together. So then he asked Ross about parenthood, and he said now that they're on the same page, he's cool with it. After he talked to his mom, she talked some sense into him, and so they're good. So then Andy asked why he stepped in Jamaica, and he said he wanted to de-escalate the situation. Well, a word to you, Ross, you can't de-escalate the situation by standing up and using profanity. Honey, it only escalates things, okay? So in the future, just sit there and ignore the heifers. Moving forward. So he asked what he thought when Kenya called him aggressive, and he said, I understood it, but I didn't think it was the right choice of words. So Kenya basically tells him that she never thought that he was going to attack them or anything, and she admired the fact that he stood up for his wife. Okay, Kenya. So Andy moves on over to Kandi and her EGOT. Okay, she has the Grammy, got to get the Emmy and the Oscar and the Tony. She deserves an Oscar. Listen, Kandi, we're going to have to flush out Rosalind. Okay, because I didn't see Rosalind too much this season on The Chi. So you need to get on over there and talk to Lena and see if Lena can write you a few more lines, honey. What's going on with Duda? Are y'all still together? I know he messing with Tracy. Child, I'm all up in The Chi. Child, I went over to The Chi. Now, for those of you who don't watch The Chi, honey, you need to go watch it, okay, because it's good. But we briefly saw you and then we didn't see you anymore. So if we flush out that character, maybe, we can get a little something going. So they show Candy's package, and poor Todd was looking so crazy when they were showing the package, honey. He was like, listen to these heifers talking about me. I know he get tired of how they try to play him to the left. I know he get tired of hearing the broke jokes, the Kandi take care of your jokes, Kandi got more money than your jokes, you came in broke, you leaving broke, you're gonna be broke. I know he tired of that. Like, he is actually a strong man, because a lesser man would have been fled the scene. I'm telling you right now. So then Andy was talking about the fact that he wore a pair of Candy's vibrating panties on Watch What Happens Live and gave Marlo the remote. So he asked Sonya how she felt about the vibrating panties, because it seems like she was enjoying them. And Sonya was like, we don't do sex toys, so for me it was cool until I found out that Ralph was actually the one controlling them. So Ross gonna say, well, I ain't even realize Ralph was doing that till I watched the show. Ross, were you present? She stood up on the bus and hit him on the shoulder when she realized it was him after she got through digging down there. You don't remember? Child. So then they take a viewer question, and they want to know why Marlo is speaking on Candy's man when she doesn't speak on her situationships. So she said, she feels that every man cheats. And, she offered her standard Marlo apology. But I'm sorry, Todd, I know you wouldn't cheat on Kandi. Todd basically was like, okay, girl, I hear you. Todd don't give a damn about Marlo. Marlo, he doesn't hear or accept your apologies. Okay? And you not fooling him. So then he brought up Sheree saying the streets were talking, and whoever this person is that sent in the question was like, there must be some truth to it since Kandi said their sex life is struggling. So Todd said, well, Mama Joy said the streets were talking and nothing came out of it. So, with this group, the streets are always talking. But what street is it though? Is it Peachtree? What street is it? Because if we can get to said street, we can clean it the hell up. This don't make no damn sense. How much longer are we going to listen to this street? Okay? It just don't make no sense. So he going to ask Sheree, well, Sheree, why did you say that? She going to say, well, I had just had the conversation with, Marlo, and I was just piggybacking off of what she said. I never heard anything about Todd. See, this is why Sheree isn't my kind of girl, because she's a follower. Okay? Why are you not able to come up with your own thoughts? Why sit there and continue to spill out this verbal vomit when you know it's not the truth? If you know you've never heard anything, why are you saying that? Like, you just ain't making no sense. So then they asked about Kayla, and they asked Todd, why he's so hard on her when basically Riley has a silver spoon in her mouth. And he basically said that Kayla is doing great. She's in production. She has her own place. She's working hard. And the way that he is raising her, they from the Bronx, okay? And you get it out the mud. So that's how he's raising her. And he feels like she's going to appreciate it that much more because of her struggle. Now, I just have to say this. There's no right or wrong way to parent. It's his child. She's an adult now. So I am sure that Kandi spoils her on the slick. And Kandi, you ain't fooling me. Okay? I am sure that Kayla is well taken care of. That's all I got to say on that. Moving forward. So then they asked about the condo, and it's actually all redone, and it looked very nice from the home video. And Andy asked about the piano lesson. That's the play that Kandi is doing in New York. And Kandi tells him, it's starring Samuel L. Jackson, and her and Todd are both producers on it. And baby, when I tell you she lit up talking about that play, you can tell that she's excited for that. Business and things like that excites Kandi. Because I was watching her as the reunion went on, and she was basically like, oh, child, I'm hungry. Oh, what time we gonna eat? Kandi just be sitting there ready for lunch, honey. But when he started talking to her about that play, she lit up because that's her thing. So I could tell that she was excited about it. So Andy brings up her saying that she doesn't want Todd remarrying. And she said that her great-grandfather remarried a woman, and then he passed away, and then the lady was in charge of everything, and honey, the math was not mathing. And baby, Kandi thinking about money from beyond the grave. Honey, she gonna come back and hunt you, Todd, so you better stay by yourself. So Todd was like, what? I thought it was because you was possessive and you loved me. Todd, goodbye. So now on to Drop It with Drew. So he moves on to dropping it with Drew and her manufactured drama, because that assistant thing with that lady, honey, that did not seem real to me. And I don't care what her and Ralph sit here and tell me, that assistant storyline, it just didn't seem real to me. Now, that's just my opinion. So they show her package, and Andy asked if Ralph really fired the assistant. And he was like, yeah, I realized the way I was showing up in the world wasn't indicative of the love that I have for Drew. And, baby, I apologize. Oh, Drew actually got teary-eyed, and you can tell she was not expecting that answer. So that just shows me that she's not used to that. That's what that showed me. And I don't know what it showed y'all. I see Ralph worked on his answers, honey, with the, publicist of it all. And I still got my good eye on you, Ralph, okay? And you ain't fooling me. But I'm happy that you did honor Drew in that moment, because she's been embarrassed enough, and she needed that. So I'm happy that you were standing as a united front, because Ross is down for Sonya. Todd is down for Kandi. So Drew wants you to be down for her, and I appreciated that in that moment. So they asked Kenya, if she wished that somebody would have stood up to Mark the way she stood up to Ralph. And she was like, it's kind of 50-50. I mean, it's tricky because they're your friends and you don't really want to overstep your boundaries. But sometimes, you just got to speak your speech. And that's just that on that. So Andy asked why Kandi and Kenya were so hard on Drew and why they were being so shady. And baby, they were confused on the shade. Now, Kandi, you giving Sheree amnesia, okay? Y'all all shaded. Drop it with Drew. Every last one of y'all. So Drew said, I was just a little taken aback because as a woman that's had kids and I went through health issues, I did not feel the support. There was none, okay? And why all of y'all acting confused as to how y'all shaded each other? That's what was really working my nerves. I'm like, how don't none of y'all remember when you were being shady? So Kandi was like, listen, Drew, I like you. Okay, I was not hating, but at the same time, there were things that just didn't add up. So Drew was like, listen, I was open to criticism. I was open to questions. Instead of y'all talking behind my back, calling me like a busted can of biscuits or whatever y'all was saying, Kandi was like, that was not me. She said, no, Sheree said it. Here goes Sheree. I did. Sheree infuriates me because it's like she's picking on who she deems the weakest link. You're body shaming her, and for what? For what? You're body shaming her because she repeated a rumor that we've known about since we were introduced to you season 1? Like, girl, please do better. So Andy is like, so is she a busted can of biscuits now, Sheree? Baby, Drew stood up. And when I tell y'all she looked great, baby, that thigh was thying. I said, give him to him, Drew, honey. Give him a little leg, then take it right back. Baby, give him a little leg. She was like, yeah, I've lost between 15 and 20 pounds. And Sheree gonna say, a 50 or a 15? She said, no, 15 to 20 pounds. Sheree, if you listen, okay, how's she gonna go between 50 and 20? So Sheree was like, well, I apologize. I didn't know your backstory. You don't look like a busted can of biscuits. Girl gone. So then they asked if Ralph was upset over things Sheree said about him in her confessional. And he said, yeah. The first thing you said, I'm gay, which you know for a fact I am not. You know that isn't true. Sheree is always in the middle of something like that. Y'all remember that season with Kim Fields and her husband? Even though Sheree is not the one who came up with it, it was Kenya saying they call him Chrissy, but it was Sheree who ran it back. So it's like she's always kind of intertwined in between some mess like that. So Sheree's like, I don't believe you are, but I don't know that for a fact. But I don't believe you are, but I don't know that. So Ralph is like, you know that I'm not. She's like, no, I don't know that for a fact. See, Sheree, this is what we're talking about. He said, I just want the same respect that I'm giving to you. She's like, well, your assistant is the one who said it. He did say it, Sheree. He did. But in your confessional, you were like, is that Ralph's dildo? Stop playing, ma'am. You kept it going. You can hear something and you can stop it dead in its tracks. Girl, I heard that. I'm not repeating it. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm not saying nothing about that. If you want to repeat that, that's on you. But as for me and mine, I'm not repeating nothing. But you repeated it. Sheree, girl, moving forward. So Andy says, Sheree, do you regret saying it? She's like, what all did I say? Sheree, you need some ginseng, honey, because that memory is shot. It's giving selective amnesia, girl. But she did apologize for the dildo of it all. And she's like, it was fun shade. Child, this is the most backpedaling reunion I have ever seen. So Drew is like, well, I don't know why you focused on me. You need to be focused on Sheba still not done yet. Like, focus on that. Why are you so obsessed with me? So she asking why Sheree so obsessed with her and whatnot. Sheree, you need to grow up. Okay? It's lame that she is targeting Drew. I don't like that. As an OG, you should just be sitting up there sitting pretty. You finally executed Sheba Sheree. You shouldn't even be talking to Drew. Okay? Drew is still a rookie. You shouldn't even be talking to her. If anything, you should direct your attention to Kandi and Kenya. That is your speed. Do you see the couch that you were on? You were on the OG side or the veteran side of the couch. Drew is with the newbies, honey. What is wrong with you? Like, you should be doing something better with your 15th time coming back besides picking on Drew. Moving forward. So Andy asked Ralph what he could change about the dinner with Drew. And, he gave his rehearsed answer, child. So then somebody blamed the dinner on Drew through this question and basically asked why she made Ralph mad. Child, moving on. So then they asked about how Ralph talks to Drew. And he said, there are some things that he said to Drew that he has to work on. He definitely has to work on his delivery and the way that he speaks to her. So he asked if the men thought the way that Ralph talked to Drew was okay. And Ross said, well, just like he said, no, it's not. It's not okay how he's been talking to Drew. So they bring up Drew constantly being left out of things. And he's like, no, I told her about the book. She said, yeah, after the deal was signed, remember you took me to dinner. We were sitting down, we were eating. I had ordered a sweet tea. And then, child, she started going through the whole thing, honey. Basically, she ran down how he told her. And she said she immediately didn't feel good because she did not know that he was shopping a book deal. Child, that's grimy as hell. How you gonna be shopping a book deal about my child that you no longer want to adopt and we're already having issues in our marriage and then you tell me after the fact? Oh, no, honey. So Andy was like, well, what if she said she didn't want you to have her son in the book? He said, well, I can understand that. The intent of the book is wrong. There are 3 reasons not to adopt a child. Number 1, the father is deceased. Number 2, he doesn't want anything to do with the child. And number 3, you don't want to. Okay? And you ain't changing it. Moving forward. So Drew said him keeping things to himself, that's an issue in their marriage. And he said the book is done and he's been working on things with the guys. Drew was like, oh, really? Girl. Yet another thing sprung on Drew. So Ralph is like, yeah, us men are actually going to do a book tour. Why would they do a book tour with you and they ain't wrote no book? Oh, child, I just really don't have time. I really don't. Here go Todd. It's going to start in Tampa. Todd, shut up. Baby, that liquor got Todd acting up. Do y'all hear me? And Todd, you need to have you some drinks before every reunion, child. So then we go on over to the feud between Marlo, Kandi, Kenya, and Sheree. So we see their package and the ups and downs and the worldwide of it all. So Andy reads a question asking what Kandi has done for the community and why Marlo says she's done nothing. And Marlo was like, I just say any old thing about people when I get mad and I really need to stop doing that. We all know that Kandi has done a hell of a lot for the community. I just be talking. Well, child, we already knew that. So then Andy asked Sheree if she feels like she's being the friend to Kandi that she expects. And she's like, well, not right now, but in the beginning I was. And I felt like Kandi should have come to me when Drew came to her because I would have came to her. But why though, Sheree? Did you come when Phaedra and Portia said Kandi was in the closet? No, you went to Marlo and Marlo took it to the campfire dinner with the aluminum foil all over that food. So what are you talking about? Did you come to her when you went behind her back and lied on her and went to Kim and said Kandi wouldn't hold a black baby in Africa? No, you didn't. You've always been messy, but you expect loyalty? Come on, Sheree now. She's like, I mean, I would have came to you. Kandi said, no, but what about the time when Kim said something about me wanting her box or whatever? She's like, but no, but I mean, you started this right here. And I feel like we both have said some things. Kandi was like, okay. Cause cause it's not making no sense. So just agree, child. We're going to agree to disagree and we're going to moving forward. So Andy asked Todd what he felt when Marlo said Kandi was below his tax bracket. He said everybody in this room is below Kandi's tax bracket. Todd, now that's how you clear them, honey, and still let your wife shine. Here go Marlo. Andy, nope, not Andy. Andy is not. Okay, Marlo, we got it. So Andy asked why Marlo brought Todd into the conversation when she was just arguing with Kandi. And she was like, yeah, I should not have done that. I should have kept it to Kandi because me and Todd, we've always been cool. I'm sorry, Todd. Marlo came in ready to redeem herself with each and every person. She already had it in her mind. I've read the tweets. I know exactly how they feel about me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to apologize about everything. Take accountability for everything. So they'll have nothing to say. But honey, we see right through you, child. So then Andy asked Todd if he ever called his wife a country bumpkin. He said no. So Marlo pipes up. And she's like, Todd, who did I pay to get into the circle? Todd said, well, since you asked, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. He said, remember, I used to work behind the scenes, right? And, that's when your thirst was elevated. Okay, you were very parched. And I worked production. And you paid for everything to come on the Africa trip. You paid for your room. You paid for your bags. You paid for everything. Your flight. Because you really want to be around these women. The thirst is real. Shout out to Nene. Marlo, you should have just stuck to the questions on the cards, honey. Because you ain't expect Todd to tell all that. He's like, but you good now. Look at you now. Kandi, Todd can read. And I don't mean take a look. It's in a book. No, I mean a real read. Now that's a read, honey. Ooh, child. Marlo should have looked at him and said, was that a read? I don't feel read. Child, that's a fool. Oh, Andy said, no, you did pay for your plane ticket, honey, because Marlo was trying to what did I pay for my room? What did I pay for what? What you mean? So after Andy said, here she go. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, I guess I was a little thirsty. That's all. When I tell y'all I had secondhand embarrassment for Marlo, just sit quiet, honey. Child, now she gonna try to deny it until Andy confirmed it. So then he asked if Marlo thought Kandi was worldwide. She was like, yeah, but let's be real. If I go to Paris or London, I will be able to get into different rooms that Kandi cannot. Kandi can get into any room with anybody that she wants to get into it with. But I think what Marlo was talking about was the fashion connections. I think she feels like she has more fashion connections than Kandi. Now, I don't know why, and I don't know. But I think that's what she was trying to articulate. But we all know that Marlo's not very good at that. So then they asked about the Jamaican KFC and how it brought them together. And Kandi was like, let's be clear, honey, because Kandi always tells me, let's be clear. Kandi said, let's be clear. Todd had already made up with her. Okay, and most of what she was saying was about Todd, and I was pissed. But since he cool, then I'm cool. Okay, and then she had the chicken, and then chicken was there, and I was just like, okay, I guess we cool. Basically, she was hungry. So, therefore, and thus and such, they made up. So Marlo was like, well, at the end of the day, Kandi knows I'm not a nasty person. Now, don't get carried away, Marlotta. Okay, let's not get carried away. So she apologizes and tells her that she gonna stop apologizing and she gonna take some action. Girl, you ain't about to do nothing. You say that, but yet even after the reunion, you were still doing messy interviews speaking negatively about Kandi. So what do you mean? What are you even saying? So Andy goes around the room asking what they took from this season. Honey, I took absolutely nothing. Well, let's hear what they have to say. Sonia said, her hope is to be able to bond with the women. She's new to Atlanta. She enjoyed being in the circle, blah, blah, blah. Drew said she wants people to give her grace because she's still learning and she's still growing. Marlo says she's going to think before she speaks. Girl, go. Kenya said, I've learned resilience. You can come back from a dark time in your life and really just shine. And Kandi says she learned she worldwide. Kandi, that is not what you took from this. Girl, it's not what you took from this season. So Sheree said, it was fun and I loved that they supported me with She by Sheree. And I felt the genuine love and support. So Kandi and Kenya were like, girl, yeah, we were so proud of you. Like, you had us nervous because we didn't think you were going to be able to do it. So Sheree is like, well, I work well under pressure. Ma'am, goodbye and good riddance. So Andy said, well, normally I would bring out treats, but a little birdie told me Sheree had something. So they roll out the racks of clothes, and they had a bag on there too. And that wasn't on the website. Child, when I tell y'all, I thought Martell was going to roll that cart out. If Martell Holt would have rolled out that cart, I would have thrown my TV out the window and then called Bravo for a reimbursement. And I'm not playing with y'all. I would have lost it. And that was the end of the season. And Andy, finally, you are wearing She by Sheree. Ooh, child, y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought. I already know what you thought, but let's just talk about it anyway, because I love to hear your thoughts. I love to interact with you. Thank you so much for joining me for this season. Let's keep this party going on over to Potomac and see what Gizzard and the girls are going to bring, honey, because I think it's going to be a good time. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.